Chief Cultural Officer for the City of Philadelphia, and I'm a poor substitute for the Mayor right now. He's on his way, but I want to, on behalf of the Mayor, say how excited the city is about this tour and about the World Expo, and what an extraordinary role this orchestra plays in being an ambassador for the city all around the world, and how that has direct economic impact in terms of making businesses and business people all over the world aware of the extraordinary cultural riches we have here in Philadelphia, represented by this great orchestra. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Allison, Vulgamore, our great CEO of the
Good morning. We are delighted to gather. Thank you all for coming, which is a very exciting time for us when the orchestra is able to go out and to represent Philadelphia and Pennsylvania in a tradition they've done for a very long time. And I'm particularly thrilled that this is my first tour with the Philadelphia Orchestra, and also my first tour in joining Charles Dutoit. So it's a very special international moment for Charles Dutoit and the orchestra, making it a special time for us. Part of what we were able to do today, we thought, was to have Charles with us. And I must tell you, he sends his love and his regards at Carnegie Hall last night, where we raised the roof. Congratulations to the orchestra. There must have been 5 standing ovations that kept coming back, and the orchestra was wonderful and graciously acknowledged Charles Dutoit. His ankle started swelling before the concert. And he got through the concert, but not through this morning. And so he's actually going to go directly to the stage for the rehearsal, and I think the musicians know that that was a night that he was somewhat challenged. But he really wants all of us to know that for him, this tour is a moment in his work with the orchestra that is extraordinarily personal and very, very exciting. Over the course of this 3-week tour, we will perform 11 concerts in 7 cities in 3 countries. And we will greet thousands, obviously, of passionate music lovers eager to hear our own Philadelphia Orchestra's special sound, especially in South Korea, Japan, and China. The tour features quintessential Philadelphia Orchestra repertoire. We will perform works by Berlioz, Rachmaninoff, Ravel, and the 2 Stravinsky masterworks, The Firebird and The Rite of Spring. We had a wonderful exposure to The Rite of Spring with our Beyond the Score concerts here in Philadelphia, and as I said, at Carnegie Hall to tremendous audiences. Maestro Dutoit has had an extraordinary history with that work in particular, especially in Asia. In 1995, Charles Dutoit led what is to be known as the first performances of The Rite of Spring in that country. So another synergy about his return with this piece. And as the cultural ambassador, obviously, we're delighted to be able to take the power of this great city, the authenticity and history of this city, and the vision of the city and the state with us. We're going to continue to play that role, especially in China, where we will perform at the World Expo in Shanghai. And we are very honored to be the first and only international orchestra to be presented by the Expo. Our program there will be all-American, with works of Bernstein, Copland, and Gershwin. And we expect some 13,000 in the audience. The Shanghai relationship has been a long one. The orchestra, the Philadelphia Orchestra, was first to perform in China back in 1973. And so we're particularly humbled to continue that relationship all the way into this current tour. Many, many supporters make this tremendous ambassadorial role for the orchestra possible. And I obviously want to recognize each and every one of them. At the end, please join me in extending what has to be a heartfelt Philly reaction to such great support for not just the orchestra, but for the city and the state, from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, from Continental Airlines. And we're joined today by Giovanna Wheatley from Continental. There you are. Thank you, ma'am. And we're also supported and partnered by the LeBeau College of Business at Drexel University. And we're joined by Dean George Chichekov. Thank you very much. So thank you for staying and being with us today. Wonderful to have partners from the community who are actually carrying their own mission forward to the Asian countries that we're visiting, but supporting, obviously, the Philadelphia Orchestra. And we thank all of our patrons and sponsors. Those of us who get to go on this tour have a rich cultural exchange of our own that we then bring home to the community. Looking forward in particular to a concert on Sound Waves, our new series next year, where we'll explore the communities of China with Tan Dun, our wonderful composer, artistic in residence for that session next year. The mayor is also still probably on his way, but not quite on his way. And at this point, I think what would be exciting to acknowledge as an interim is part of the touring life of the Philadelphia Orchestra that I actually have not yet seen. Except I'm getting a glimpse. A part of what obviously the mayor wants to speak to is what it is that the orchestra carries forward, and I think Gary did a lovely job of that. But he also knows and talks to me frequently about the fact that the orchestra is a group of individuals, a group of people who represent themselves as well as the city and the state in various ways. This is a unique way. I want to introduce you to the Firebird players, the very own Philadelphia Orchestra baseball team.
You want me in the back row here?